Hi everyone, it's me, Lubna. Today is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. This video is dedicated to my beloved, and the topic of this video is going to be about practicing perfect stillness under all circumstances. And this topic actually came to my mind this morning as I was sitting in traffic on the way to Scottsdale for an appointment. And as I was sitting in my car in the middle of that heavy traffic, I found myself thinking about how our day-to-day lives are full of so many potential aggravations, whether they have to do with other people or with our situation, such as being stuck in traffic like I was. And I was thinking about how I was so tempted to get angry and anxious that I might be late for my appointment as I was trying to navigate my way through the traffic and get to my destination. And in that moment, I was brought back to a chapter that I read in the book that I'm currently reading, which is Letting Go, the Pathway of Surrender, by David Hawkins, MD, PhD. And in my video yesterday, I had shared a passage from the chapter titled Love. And today I wanted to share with you another passage from that same chapter under the section heading called Oneness. So I'm going to show you the beginning of that section first, and then I'm going to read some of it to you. So there it is, and I'll read that aloud to you now. Here it goes. Oneness. As the state progresses, all of existence takes on a different meaning, and we become aware of the inner beingness and essence of everything, rather than just its form. Because of this change of perception, the perfection of all things stands revealed. This experience is outside of time. There is no past or future. In its highest vibration, love sees no separation between the individual and the rest of the universe. We experience total at-oneness with all things. In this state, the total oneness of all things has a greater sense of reality than the ordinary perceptions of the self in the world, and it can only be described as profound. As the inner shifts occur, our lifestyle may or may not show a change to the external observer. However, habits and behavior, although they may appear to be the same, are no longer compulsive or driven. They can often be dropped, altered, or changed without undue discomfort. On the other hand, there may indeed be sudden changes in lifestyle, including major shifts in vocation, because of the change of inner values and expansion of interests and vision. Now that we are connected to a greater dimension, there may be an immersion in it through contemplation, meditation, art, music, movement, reading, writing, teaching, and participation in spiritual groups with similar objectives. Letting go now becomes more automatic and continuous. Periods of inner stillness and beauty begin to occur with greater frequency and duration. These may occur at a very profound level. Oddly, they may follow episodes of greater inner turmoil and struggle. These periods of intense inner work occur because we can no longer tolerate negativity. Now that we have greater power of consciousness, we are able to reach down and handle problems at the deepest levels of consciousness. These may be such problems as those concerning the source of our identity or concept of self. So that's the passage I wanted to share with you today from Letting Go, from the chapter titled Love. And later on, within that chapter, within that section, Dr. Hawkins talks about an experience that he had while walking down 5th Avenue in New York City in the midst of all of this hustle and bustle, and experiencing this stillness within himself in spite of all that was going on around him, and in spite of the negative energy of the city. He was able to find peace within himself and stillness and quietude within himself. And I'm not going to read that part of the chapter aloud to you now because it's a little bit long, but I just wanted to bring that up because when I was stuck in the middle of the traffic this morning, that passage came to my mind, and I thought about how he had talked about how he found peace and stillness in the middle of this hustle and bustle. And it made me think about how no matter what is going on around us, whether we're in the middle of a crowd or we're by ourselves in the middle of nowhere, we have the ability to find this perfect stillness within us. And I like to think of situations that might aggravate us or have the potential to aggravate us, such as heavy traffic or people talking too loud around us or having to wait in a waiting room for too long, or just people being plain annoying around us. All of these types of situations are ways for us to practice having this perfect stillness within us. And I try to tell myself that I should be thankful for these opportunities to practice developing perfect stillness. Because, as I've said before, like with our physical body, we have a muscle of the soul that grows the more and more we challenge it. So when we're faced with situations that tempt us to get aggravated or get annoyed or angry, such as the traffic I was in this morning, we have an opportunity to learn and to practice perfecting our inner stillness. And so, by sharing that with you today, I wanted to get you to think about potential situations that you've faced today or that you might face tomorrow that might be a cause of aggravation for you normally. And try to, instead of being aggravated by them or angered by them or somehow disturbed internally by those situations, practice this perfect inner stillness. And I think that the way that we can practice this inner stillness is by cultivating a consciousness of love. And I know that that is a very complicated yet simple statement, but the way that we can practice this consciousness of love is by telling ourselves that fundamentally everything in this universe and everything in our lives is okay. Nothing is wrong. And everything is okay, even though on the surface it might not look like it. It might look like there is a lot of negativity and bad things going on in our lives and in the world. But fundamentally, underneath it all, everything is perfectly okay. So by telling ourselves that, we achieve a calm, we achieve an inner peace that surpasses anything that might aggravate us on the surface. And that is what I reminded myself of This morning, as I was sitting in that traffic on the 101 loop going east towards Scottsdale, in the middle of all of these cars coming in and out, and it was almost like I was stuck in the midst of all of these cars, in a sea of cars. But I felt perfectly calm and still on the inside. So I hope that by sharing all of this with you today, I can inspire you to try to learn how to cultivate a perfect inner stillness within yourself, and to use all of the potential aggravations that you face in your life as means and practice for cultivating this perfect stillness. I hope you've learned something very valuable from my video today, and thank you as always for taking the time to listen and or watch my video. And I'd like to wish you a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world.